Hi and welcome to Vocal Power with me, Tony O'Hora. It's been a while since the last video, as you can probably tell. I'd like to thank you very much for the kind comments and feedback that you've been leaving on the Middle Voice series of videos, and I'm glad to hear many of you have found these useful. One of the main stumbling blocks for some students is the ability to create and feel the thyroid tilt by either using the cry sound or the puppy sound. So I thought I'd share with you another exercise that will help you achieve this goal. Now firstly, although I've used the term head voice in the title of this video, it's purely to enable people to find it more easily. I believe in a voice that goes seamlessly from the bottom of your range all the way to the top. I'm not a fan of splitting the voice into different modes, such as middle, head, or mix. What exactly is mix? I'm sure that voice modes and classifications will continue to be debated, but I prefer to steer clear of those as they create more obstacles than necessary. So let's just think of it as one instrument. There is one other mode to consider as a separate entity, and that's falsetto, and we'll come across that a little bit later in this exercise. We are working simply on the principle that as we ascend in pitch, the thyroid starts to tilt, which pulls on the vocal folds. This makes them tighter, thinner, and longer. The result is that we get a higher pitch. This process starts to happen as you get towards the bridge area of your voice, or the end of your chest voice if you want to use a categorical term. It's the point where you've got as high as you can with your regular setup, or your modal voice, or your chest voice, and you're at the very top of your range without straining. And this is the point where your voice sends a message to your brain going, help me do something to go higher. So the way to negotiate this bridge area is to ensure the throat stays relaxed and the airflow stays consistent and it does not increase. So this little exercise will help you practice through that bridging area. I call this the NG151. Basically, we're going to use the NG sound that we used in a previous video for sirening. The NG sound is a nasal continuance, which is a fancy term for the fact that it's a sound that comes out of your nose and it can be constantly hummed. So basically it's humming down your nose. When we hum with an M, the mouth's closed. When we hum with an NG, the mouth is slightly open. If you're not sure if that sound is coming out of your nose, try this. It'll stop it right away and probably cause your ears to pop like it just did to mine. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with an NG sound, and then we're going to slide up and slide back down to where it was. So we're going from the root of a scale up to the fifth note of the scale and back down to the root. Now it's very important throughout the whole exercise that the slide is gradual and it covers all the tones in between. And there's no steps or any breaks in the voice because that will interrupt your setup. So think of it as a nice long legato phrase that just goes up and down. I'll demonstrate it once and do it a couple of times, and then a few tips of advice for you to practice with. So we're simply going to hum the NG, slide up the fifth, and slide back down. I'm doing E to B to E here, so I'm going to go. Okay, now it's a little bit quick through there, so I'm going to do that a little bit more slowly, just so you can understand the sliding principle. So you can see it's quite gentle in effort levels. I'm not doing this. It's important that everything stays relaxed and you just feel yourself lifting the sound. So you do the slide gently and slowly. So to initiate the sound, I'd like you to start with a soft hummed NG. Be careful not to press on the onset of the sound, and by that I mean don't do this. Don't hammer into the sound, don't attack the sound. It really is a gentle hum that starts quietly. To help you get that sound correctly, if you're having difficulty getting it, try this. Start it with a gentle sigh coming down the nose. If you were just about to flop down on the sofa, you might go. So you can feel the air coming through the nostrils. So you can start the sound that way. And then you should feel a gentle resonant sound, and I want you to get the focus of that resonance along the roof of your mouth and about where the bottom of your nose would be if it came all the way down into your mouth. So focus on the resonance being in that spot, and then as you slide up in pitch, allow the resonance to just travel up the bridge of your nose a little bit and come back down. Once again, this is just singing teachers speak. It doesn't really happen that way, but we need something, some imagery to work with, okay? So do the slide gently and slowly, and make sure that the top note is slightly quieter than the root note. So this will encourage you, the good practice of not pushing the air too much. So once again. And as you go higher, you'll come into your bridging area. What happens here now is, by training the voice to stay connected through the slide, the 1-5-1 slide, as you go through your bridging area, you should be easing off enough to allow that tilt to happen. I'm not going to run you through a bunch of exercises here. You can do this exercise simply off any key notes. You don't need to have it in a pattern. However, if you head over to my website at vocalpower.co.uk, sign up for my mailing list, I've recorded an MP3 practice for you. There's one with me singing on it and one just for you. So you can put that on your MP3 player, on your iPhone or anything else, and practice it over and over. This is an excellent exercise for a foundation of good technique and good control of your voice. Now earlier on I mentioned falsetto. Something that can happen in this exercise as you're practicing your slide is you can end up flipping into falsetto. And what do I mean by that? I'll demonstrate. If I were to go correctly first, if I slipped into falsetto, first you can hear a little crack or a flip in the voice as the vocalis muscles go to sleep in the middle of the folds, which starts letting a load of air through. And a great way to tell if you're in falsetto or not is compare the airflow coming out of your nostrils from your connected sound against the falsetto tone. So my initial tone, there is a little bit of gentle air coming out the nose because that's where the sound's coming from. We've already established that. But once I flip into falsetto, there's a gust of air coming out, so it's absolutely obvious if you're not in the right modal setup. So just check every now and then. If you're not sure whether you're staying connected or if you're flipping into falsetto, just check the airflow. If the airflow increases drastically when you go up, you've flipped into falsetto. And all that's happening there is the muscles in the larynx haven't quite got enough closure for you. So persistent practice of gently sliding the connected sound upwards will circumvent this. Right, that about wraps it up for this one. Thank you very much once again. I wish you the best of luck with practicing this. And do take time to do it daily. Do it within your comfort zone, and slowly, little by little, you'll start increasing your range. You'll start smoothing out that bridging area that may have been troubling you. And don't forget, pop over to the website, sign up for our mailing list, and you'll receive some more tips by email, as well as the MP3 to practice this one. Thanks a lot. See you soon.